This was a huge breakthrough for me once I actually began to understand it. There is faith and there is works. Our works cannot get us into heaven because if it did, we would have saved ourselves a long time ago. Think about that. If we could save ourselves, we would have done it a long time ago, but we cannot. So we need a savior. We need Jesus. But the thing is, if one has faith through grace and they're reconciled with God through Jesus, it doesn't mean their life just becomes a slime ball of nothingness. Rather, they're given this spirit and this unction to show that they have a fruit of that spirit, so to live out their life in righteousness. And it was one moment in particular, I was walking around in Austin. It was a brother from my church and we were evangelizing. We were talking to people about the gospel, especially on the campus of University of Austin in Texas. And after talking to people one on one, handing out pamphlets, addressing different concerns with what people had about the faith, this brother and I, his name is Chris, opened up the book of James. And it was James 2 that really hit me hard. James 2:17 in particular. And it says, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. And it goes on to say, even the demons believe that and shudder. And so what is that saying? It's saying, okay, you can have faith, and that is the only way to eternity, faith through grace. It's faith in God through his grace. He gives it to us. But without works, it's dead. Meaning, if our actions don't back what we believe, if our actions don't back the faith we proclaim that we have, then it's basically null and void. Like it doesn't matter at all. So that was a huge breakthrough for me to understand that. And you need to understand it too, because you can't just have one or the other. You can't just have too much of the works, because then you're relying on your own self to do everything. And that's the point of having a relationship with God so we can depend on Him. Think about it as planting a seed and tending to this garden to bear a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful harvest. Faith, the seed that's planted in here, but the harvest, the work to do it, is the one that helps multiply and grow it. You ever hear the quote, do the work and God will multiply? Or do what you can control and God will control the rest? At all times, God's controlling everything, but there's an aspect to us doing things here on earth. Ephesians 2:8 through 9 talks about faith. Hebrews 11 talks about faith. By faith, Abraham was this. By faith, Moses was this. By faith, by faith, by faith, talking about all those in faith and what faith does. But the way the laws of this earth and life were set up by God is that we have to do some level of work to accomplish a result. But the thing that people may get wrong is they overemphasize their own work to then look at themselves. Whereas that's just a natural, obligated action to be done to make a result happen. God is the one that provides all things. He's the one that has set up the framework of life to be that way. So he is the one to be glorified because without his provision and protection and guidance to multiply, and without faith, which he's given by grace, then nothing can bear fruit. You'll often see that those who have a pureness in their faith, that those who proclaim they're Christians, and you can see that they actually are those who have fruit. They call it the fruit of the Spirit. Fruit of the Spirit, meaning the fruit that comes forth. If it bears good fruit, that means they have good faith and righteousness. If it bears fruit that withers away and that's not ripe and that's bitter, then that's improper faith. That's a fallacy. That's a mask that someone may be putting on to say they have faith, but they do not. So it's like that. The fruit of the Spirit is the equalizer. It shows what's actually at play. Because here inside, someone can say they have faith, and that could be true or not. But the weighing scale is as though what is the exterior of their life look like? I can say I can run 100 miles, but if I don't do it, it's null and void. It does not matter. I can say this tree produces really good fruit, and I can have faith that it will, but if I don't tend to it and it does not actually produce that fruit, then it is a lie. And so faith does need works, and faith without works is dead. But the works is just a proving point to what we believe, to our faith. But it's not to take away from the truth of it all, that it's faith through grace by God that we're given eternal salvation. While here on earth, there's work to do. But at large, in eternity, it's faith that gets us in reconciliation with God. Because you think about it too, the spiritual realm is that which is unseen. And Hebrews talks about that. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for, of things not seen. And so that's the spiritual realm. Faith is the spiritual realm, the things unseen. But while we're here on earth living materially, there's a materialisticness of this. There's objects and matter that make up material. We need work because that is like the equation of what we are to do here on earth. Does that make sense? Faith is the spiritual realm of things eternal. Work is things on this plane, on the material plane, while here living on earth. Think about it. Marinate on it. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it.